Control Lord Games. Join the fray.
Here we are. I was told I need to show more energy at the outset to match the energy of Chuck's intro video there. So I tried to do it, but I almost fell asleep waiting for the video to get through. My attention is very low. But we are here for Ask Me Anything. I don't even know what show it is anymore. What are we on? 81 is the title down there, right? Tim, do we get video and sound and all that goobly-goop? It's supposed to be working. Good deal. At least for another 5 minutes until your internet slows down and you start losing sound and video. But for now, all's good. Good on the title? Good deal. Well, there you go. It's Tuesday afternoon, July 13th. We are hammering down the player's handbook. That is our primary focus at the moment. Peter Bradley's doing a few pieces of art for it. He's got a full-page assassin thing he wants to do. And then something else. Campfire picture. A demonstration of fire or light. Something. Actually, a technical one would be really good. A diagram would be kind of cool, actually. Now that I think of it, I may have him do a diagram. I like diagrams. Where's a pie chart? I need a pie chart. The player's handbook needs a pie chart. How's it going, Willie? How's it going, Kedora? What else? Oh yeah, Zoe's doing a half piece. And there's still going to be a couple of things I got to figure out what to do with. We tore through on page 198. Right now I'm doing a layout, and Peter's doing a lot of the art. Kind of not last minute, but art that I want in there. But we didn't know exactly what we wanted until we knew how things were going to be spatially arranged. I should be releasing it tomorrow. I think again the second version to all the backers. I think we should have a second one out. So I should be doing good. The warden arrived in Denver yesterday. Good deal. Was it all intact? Those boxes were heavy. I know the peanuts can survive a certain distance, but too much tossing around, sliding around in trucks, and they start getting kind of crushed. And then there's more space, and the more space there is to move in a box, it's bad for a book. So the peanuts are always, we love them, but what can you do? But I'm glad it arrived. How's it going, Epi? How's it going, Lord Alias? Geek Preacher. I saw that, Geek Preacher, you've got a show tonight, the Good Grognards, I think, here on Twitch. Saw your promotion for it over on TikTok. Very cool. Came in perfect condition. The warden arrived to Epi in perfect condition. That's a good deal. No issues with Kadora. That's good. That's really good. That means it's getting at least halfway across the country without getting jumbled apart. Geek Preacher, get with Tim, and he'll let you. Or Tim, can you let Geek Preacher put up a link for his Twitch channel? That way people can see what's going on. I saw that you did that show kind of in response to the late unpleasantness that sprung up around the reputations of some of the older gamers with some of the younger gamers. All a very interesting mix. I missed my chance for an update on Tuesday, so I'll ask now, what's the status of the Runes book? I assume you're talking about the spells. The rune spells for the rune mark are going in the adventure spell book. They are all written. I think they're edited. I'm really not 100% certain yet. I know I hired a guy. I know he turned some of it over, but I haven't visited his Dropbox in about a month, so I think it's done. I know. He pinged me a couple weeks ago about getting paid, so there it goes. I gotta get it out there. God. Always with the yawning. Yeah, so I assume that's what you're talking about, and it's going to roll out right with the player's handbook. And that book is laid, the adventurer's spell book is laid out. It's got the runes. I got to stick the runes in there, which won't take very long. Of course, I gave myself a massive headache today and yesterday because I decided to change the stat block in the spells section. So I'm going to have to do that for the stat block in the spell section in the adventure spell book, just to kind of bring it up to speed. But it's not that hard. It's just obnoxious. But I assume that's what you're talking about. Okay, yes it is. All right, good deal. They are. So it's going to be the Player's Handbook. No, the rune spells. No, we've got it's 160 spells, so that would kind of be too short. We could do a smaller book if we wanted, but I really think at this juncture we've got to get these spells from all of these sources into one book. I've got spellcasters in both my Tuesday or my Sunday and Thursday game, and it's a pain in the rumpus to track these spells down from the Player's Handbook to the Adventurer's Backpack to the Player's Handbook to the Player's Guide to Air to the Elemental Spell Book to Amazing Adventures. There's just spells, and the Rune Mark, of course. There's just spells all over the place. How do I let Geek Preacher? I don't know. There he is. Epi got it in. I don't know how you're doing, Tim. Chuck's off doing some legal wrangling, so he's not here to back Tim up. But there it is. Visit the good Grognard's. Geek Preacher, what time is your show tonight? Is it 7 Central Standard Time? I don't know why I had that in my head, but I had it in my head. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. There you go. After everybody's gone to bed. I see what you're doing there. I'm following you on that one. I'll try to join in. I'll try to hop on. I don't know what I'm doing tonight at 9. I got to walk a couple miles this afternoon. Got to take the car to the shop. Got to eat dinner. I think pizza's on the docket. So I don't know. I'll try to get in there. Hey, Great Pape. How's it going, man? Eat on Friday. How's it going, dude? We are here for the Jib Jab session, the Jibber Jabber session for Troller Games. I started out with some babble about the Player's Handbook. It begins just as the most excellent painting show by Daniel Fisher. Join us tonight to see some cool miniature painting. There you go. Absolutely join Daniel tonight too on our channel, of course, and see some really badass painting. Good stuff here on Twitch. Always growing. Oh, speaking of car to shop, I've got to find another flat tire. Tim, you're going to have to get a truck. You're just going to have to get a truck with big old giant tires. You're far too out in the country. Too far out in the country to, God, talk like Yoda or something, to drive the car up and down that very, very rough road. Painting show by Daniel Fisher ends. Wait, what? I don't know what's going on around here. No one tells me anything. Is Daniel's show ending tonight? Is he no longer going to be painting his miniatures? Is that what's happening? I need some 10-ply tires. Yes, you do. You need whatever I got on my pickup. They're just gigantic tires. After I had that blowout going to Gen Con a couple of years ago, I can't remember the name of it now, but I got some huge, it's probably 10-ply, I can't remember, but all-weather terrain stuff. It's just great tires. No, I mistyped the good Grognard starts as Daniel streams. Oh, I got it. Daniel stream is from 7 to 8 Central Standard Time. Good Grognard's is from 9 to, 8 to 9, and then 9 to 10. Good deal. Everybody, you guys can figure that out. I'm clearly not going to enunciate it correctly, so I'll just let you guys figure it out. Okay, good deal. All right, that was I confused everybody. That's what I'm here for. There you go, Derek. Just hang out wait for it. Just hang out for a while. Man, I got a lot of stray cats outside that window. At least 3 that I've seen recently, and I had a little bitty bunny bouncing around, kind of trapped. So I'm keeping my eye out for cats and bunnies. So if I get out, run out real quick. I'm trying to rescue a rabbit. I don't know why I like rabbits, but I just like them. I think I read certainly, but I also watched the animated version of Watership Down, and it was so brutal and so horrid that I've had this kind of soft spot for rabbits my entire life. I don't know. Good Grognards. It's about Grognards doing good in the gaming community. We'll talk about fundraisers, founders, and legends, and other things tonight. We're going to be talking about the mythical golden age of gaming. The golden age of gaming. That'd be the 1970s. I finally did get the story from Davis, how he and I actually began gaming. I thought he had always started gaming, running D&D about a year before I started playing, but that's not the case. Apparently, he got the books, the little brown books. I was there when my mom got those, He got the brown books in 1975 or 1976 or somewhere right in there. We can't pinpoint the date. And didn't know what to do with them. He and I played war games a lot. He would buy Avalon Hill games or SPI games, and we'd play those war games quite a bit. And then when he got Dungeons & Dragons, he didn't know what to do with it. So it sat around the house for like a year. It had no chits, so he didn't know what to do with it. Until he finally figured it out, and then he hollered. We shared a room in those days. He hollered at me to start rolling a character. My guess is he rolled the characters to begin with. I don't remember rolling a character. I remember naming it Tarzan. That's all I remember. My first character's name was Tarzan. He died. Second character's name was Korak, who, for those of you who are Burroughs fans, is the son of Tarzan. He also died. But that's how my golden age all began. Ever since a rabbit hissed at me, I've hoped for their earthly eradication. But they're so cute, man. They're so cute. The one that looked outside looked like he'd been beat up back for. He looked like he survived Watership Down. Well, that sounds awesome. I love the idea of community stuff. There you go. We have a fledgling robins outside our front door. Remember our friend outside the other day to chase off a magpie that was hassling them. Yep, I tell you what, we've got 2 kit hawks. They're always above these trees. And these birds that are mockingbirds, jays, cardinals, they're always, you'll see about once every 2 or 3 weeks, if you're lucky, you'll catch a view of that hawk swooping down, taking a bird out of the tree, and he kills it. And the mockingbirds, let me tell you, they go absolutely batshit crazy. When those hawks go on the attack, the mockingbirds and the crows go absolutely batshit crazy. It's pretty cool. I stopped hunting rabbits after reading Watership Down. It scarred you enough. The book is brutal, but I had all my kids watch the movies when they were much too young. When they were much too young. It was horrid. It was a horrid experience. I think we turned it off, actually. All those rabbits getting plowed under and fighting to the death and all of that mess. Our local mini convention decided to give an award to a high school that started an RPG club at his high school. That's very cool. I was in an RPG club a gajillion years ago. I love those school clubs. It's very cool. And I love that D&D and RPGs in general have really spread beyond and into this whole new genre of people. It's just freaking awesome. I just mail out my letter with my Edgar Rice Burroughs stamps. There you go. Let's see, cute in its flesh-rending, blood-drinking manner. Yeah. Davis told me the other day that rabbits will eat their babies to stay alive. That's just crazy. I thought Tarzan said was boy. I think in the movies it's boy. Hey, boy. What is ED and EC? ED is, I think there's a medical condition, but in our context, it is engineering dungeons and engineering castles. 2 small books, each about 30 pages long, that kind of give tips and how-tos and dimensions of verbiage for creating castles and dungeons. We're actually going to take that castle. Peter and I have been kind of tinkering with the book for a while now. We'll take that castle's concept and really blow it up into something I think pretty cool. All right, I need to watch that shortly. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. The raffle has started. All right. There you go. Well, we're here for Ask Me Anything. If you have any questions for me, CEO of Troll Lord Games, about what we do, about our Kickstarters, about the industry at large, about any of this goobly-goop that I've been doing for 20 years, please put it in the feed, and I'll do my best to answer it as honestly and succinctly as I possibly can. How's it going, Zoom? Hope you're having a good day. I think the raffle is running, so while we're slamming raffle up into the thing, I'll just jabber about something. So, the Player's Handbook, pretty excited about it. I think this is going to be, what's your favorite thing that's made out of wood? An axe handle. Absolutely an axe handle, or a hammer handle. The handle of any kind of tool, because when it gets kind of worn, you can drop it in a bucket of water, swells back up, and it'll tighten the whole thing up. I like that. Chairs too. I'm actually a big fan of wooden chairs. I'm actually a big fan of wooden general tables, all of it. Everything should be wooden. I keep trying to tell my wife, when you get rid of our couch and just put a wooden bench in front of the TV. She's not real keen on the idea, but what can you do? At any rate, I don't know what the hell I was babbling about. Something. Oh, I think this is going to be a really good version of the Player's Handbook. I'm super excited about it. I think that the highlighting text that Peter Bradley came up with really allows for quick reference and standing material to stand out. I went through the day and cleaned down all of the components. I put the components as part of the stat block, cleaned up a little bit of space, stretched things out, and made information a little bit more accessible. So I'm pretty excited about it. The art is just blowing it away. Peter just turned over a fighter, which I'm super happy with. We're actually going to have a couple of the classes where we had enough space. We're going to have 3 pictures in: the ranger, the fighter, the druid, maybe, I don't know, one of the others. But I'm just super excited about this player's handbook. So it'll be going to the press, it will be going to the press probably late next week is my assumption. And once it does, definitely look forward to the print version of it, and when it lands, pick it up. See, rocking chair was my answer. Haha, corn dog sticks is the winner. There you go. I'm a huge fan of the very first piece of... What's going on with my phone? I don't know what's going on. The very first piece of furniture I ever purchased after leaving home was a rocking chair. I still have it. It's a little bit... the runner's broken. I glued it back together, but it's still functional. Hello, Daily is essential for victory. There you go. A pointed stake protruding from my enemy's heart is my favorite wooden thing. I guess if you're a vampire hunter, a stake is probably your most important thing, or most valued, most loved piece of wood. There you go. I started using the PDF. I love the background. Nice change from the yellow color. Yeah. You know, it's funny. When I was going through the spells today, I had the 7th printing of the Player's Handbook open, and it never really bothered me, that the brown that I know a lot of people don't like, but it began to bother me today. The text kind of merged with it a little bit, and it's just not as clear. It's just black text on this lighter background. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to have a test page done. So when we print the hardcovers, of course, we use Walsworth Printing up in Missouri, and their monitors or their machines are a little bit different than we're seeing things, so this orange could easily turn into a pink, and I really would rather it not do that. If anything, I'd rather it go a little bit more red, but I definitely want to be certain of that before we roll out a very large print run, which this one is. This one is going to promise to be a very large print run. Quickly followed by the wood alcohol I drink from the skulls of my enemies. There you go. My second favorite piece of art, I knew it. Art I is the new PHB. Wait for the assassin. I absolutely. So you're Vic saying his second favorite piece of art is the assassin in the Player's Handbook. If you haven't seen it, it is gorgeous. Zoe did this absolutely stunning faceless man, woman, whatever you want to call it. And I've actually decided, for those of you who have a vested interest in the in the assassin, I've actually moved the assassin to the back, not of the book, but to the back of the class section. I essentially, in the class section, you have your introductory section, then you have your 12 classes, and then you have, we'll have a full color page, then the assassin, multi-classing, and class and a half. Kind of setting up the assassin as not a ancillary or optional class, but just something that's pushing the boundaries. And there's a little bit of verbiage in there to let Team Assassin. There you go. There's a little bit of verbiage in there to let everyone know that the assassin is actually an official class. It's just booted to, and it's called the assassin, so it's just booted to the back of the line, which is where assassins should be. So Steve's best day is driving around in a truck with a load of lumber in the back, Dr. Pepper in his hand, REO Speedwagon cassette blasting from the speakers. That would be a damn good day. Truck always rides better if there's more weight in the back of it. Cold Dr. Pepper, of course, and I love me some REO Speedwagon. So that would definitely be a good day. I received my CNC order from Noble Dwarf, great quality. Those guys at Noble Dwarf do a fantastic job. We're gonna have some kind of special limited release out pretty soon too. We're talking to Elisa Faden about that. Super stoked about that. They're just really good. But as I mentioned, I need chairs. Tired of folding chairs. Yeah, chairs are good. This thing's about done. Anything new in the TLG store lately, or can you give a future timeline for new stuff showing up there? Currently, I'm guessing the Warden is the next thing to show. Yeah, so we just released Monsters and Treasures of Eric for 5th edition. That rolled out, and then the Warden will roll out maybe tomorrow, but I'm probably going to bump it to Tuesday. Tim and I set the schedule, and I can't remember what we set it on. So Tim's got those notes. But probably next Tuesday, the Warden rolls out. And then after that, the CKG. I'm hoping we get the CKG. I'm hoping it ships tomorrow. That's kind of what they intimated the 12th. It did not ship on the 12th. So I'm kind of hoping it ships tomorrow. And we get it early next week, and we can start rolling that thing out. Then the Castle Keeper's Guide comes out. Now, when the CKG comes out, they'll be at 𝚃𝚘𝚘𝚕𝚔 Herb book will come out, and then we're on to NPC Almanac and Player's Handbook, which will not be long following those two. And then there's M3 floating around there somewhere. I believe it's 100% done, other than the maps being placed in the book. I think that's where we are in M3, so we'll be getting that out very, very soon. So, quite a few things, and we've almost got all of these. How's it going, Raven Shadows? We've almost got all these Kickstarters done. I'm going to be so happy when they're finished. I think by the end of this week, the fourth of these 5 Kickstarters will be about wrapped up. Let's see. It's a preferred class. There you go. Can't backstab from the front. Exactly. The assassin does not need to be so exposed at the front of the book. So I'm pretty happy with its placement. I think it'll work for all concerned, and put to bed my concerns with the class's placement originally. Hey Steve, just wanted to give you a heads up. Dr. Pepper Zero is awesome for those of us worried about our blood sugar. You know, I've not tried it. Jason Vay's moved in that direction. He's pitched that to me a couple of times. I may try it, but you know, there's few things that I'm a happy guy. I enjoy life. Life's good. All of that, with its ups, with its downs, all of those things. But I'm not a big eater. I don't care to go out to dinner. I don't care for food that much. But I take a great and singular pleasure in Dr. Pepper. So I'm not likely to change. But I may give it a whirl again. I actually started exercising. I'm walking 2 miles a day to burn off some of these sugars. So that's my plan, which is what I need to do anyway. But no one enjoys a surprise stab to the face. Nobody enjoys that. Thanks. Looking forward to both of these products. Good deal, Statler. And thanks for joining us. Hey, Steve, long time to watch. Did you look at my diet? I have not, King Kothar. I have not. It is on my desktop. It's sitting there. I've just been too busy. And for me to look at legal documents, I got to sit down and actually read it. I got to be in the right frame of mind. I have to really know what I'm diving into. I can't be thinking about the Player's Handbook or the Starship Warden or whatever late problem TLG has cropped up. But hopefully this week I'll knock it out. I would proceed. I'm sure everything is fine. I have no doubt that everything is fine with it. Yeah, absolutely. Raven Shadows, glad you've joined us. Just in time for you to start a new Kickstarter. Exactly. I'm looking for the new PHB and CKG to land in the store. A few others as well. I missed all the recent Kickstarters, so I'm waiting for them to hit in the store so I can order them all at once. Yeah, I'm hoping in the next 5 weeks we've got this stuff wrapped up. I mean, it's summertime, so they print it a little faster in the summer because they don't have they're less work in the summer, so when we throw in things, it goes a little faster. With that said, they've been shy of a lot of employees, so that's impacted stuff. But I'm really hoping the Player's Handbook, once we roll that sucker out, and we're going to send the Player's Handbook, what are the other two? The Adventure Spellbook, there's another one in there. The Player's Archive, all 3 at the same time, and get them hobbled together simultaneously. I'm doing okay, a little tired of painting lessons. I assume then that you teach painting for a living. That's cool. My mother did that as a hobby many years ago. I have zero painting skills or anything like that. I thought I would never give up Diet Coke, so you never know. You never know, if the doctor tells me, dude, you got to give it up or lose a foot, I'm giving it up. I like my feet, so. And I'm a friend of Jim Ward's, and I follow him over on Facebook. For those of you who have not followed his trials and tribulations with diabetes, it is horrific, and he is very graphic, and he is very honest in his assessment of sugary drinks. That's fine. I realize I need to advise it anyway, so delete that version, and you'll perfect. I will definitely delete that, no problem. How's it going, Green Lundgren? Glad you could join us. You're a student. Excellent. Well, that's cool. Learning to paint is as cool as teaching to paint. I mean, that's very cool. Like I said, I have no talent. My brother Davis always had some talent in art. He never really pursued it, but that's very cool that you're pursuing it. I think that's awesome. Anything to, unleash the creative side of of who we are is always a good thing. Obviously, RPGs are a great way to do that, but painting is probably even a better way. How's it going, Lord Gazumba? Things are going well. We're chugging along like usual. I hope they're all right with you. We're gearing up for something, but I don't know what. I've had my head stuck in the player's handbook. I'm just going from project to project, which is good. The warden's done, back in the player's handbook. Every group needs someone that likes to paint minis, something my group has been missing. Yeah, I can't paint minis. Mac used to be able to, Davis used to be able to, but they quit. So we have a lot of lead. I've about almost quit using miniatures. I don't know why. I like them. It's just so much trouble to pull them out. Oh, there's Mac Muddles right there, speaking of the devil. Mac, we were all volunteering your effort to paint miniatures for the game again. You used to paint a lot of miniatures, you and Davis both. There you go. Let's see. How's it? Blah, 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 blah. What am I doing here? 3 things I have left for my mother are her paintings. She was not very good, but still nice to have. Yeah, that's a very cool thing. Kathy's got some of her grandmother's paintings, and my mom used to paint stills. She did like American flags, drums, stuff like that, and then stills of birds and things like that. Pretty cool stuff. I never had any of the talent along those lines. I can't say that I was envious. I don't think I ever particularly wanted to draw or paint. Too much patience. It requires way too much patience. Well, it's good to have a busy day at work, Green Lantern. It makes the day fly by at least. It might be exhausting, but at least the day ends. Today I was stunned when I looked up and I thought, holy crap, I got to do that stream in 10 minutes because I had my nose in the player's handbook and all that other goobly-goob. So at least the day goes by quickly. I see 200 grams. I have a couple of dozen of my grandmother's oil paintings around the house. That's very cool. I actually have about 2 dozen of Pete's paintings, Peter Bradley's paintings in the warehouse. I need to pull those things in. I don't even know what they are. I think a couple of them we've used, but I think most of them are like portraits, and I'm just really not sure what they are. What's TLG's most popular product line? By a long stretch, Castles and Crusades. Nothing even comes close. It's interesting in the distribution market. Our 5th edition stuff in the retail market, our 5th edition stuff does better, but it does nothing compared to CNC direct to consumer and through Amazon and direct to retail. That's all Castles and Crusades with a healthy dose of amazing adventures thrown in. It's very interesting to me that for direct to consumer, direct to gamer, our in-store sales aren't that great for 5th edition, but it's the complete reverse for the retailer. It just tells you that that's where gamers are going. I guess. I don't know what the hell it tells you. I've tried to crack that nut, but haven't quite done it. Sales for CNC are still healthy. They dipped about, 3 years ago off of the high in the retail market, though they're still pretty good. But by a long stretch, Castles and Crusades by a long. It's why it continues to be our primary focus, and why having the Castle Keeper's Guide. I'm glad you're waiting for it, Green London, but having the Castle Keeper's Guide out of print now for months is just a disaster. It's an unfolding daily disaster, which I'm hoping is cured tomorrow when the book finally ships and we can start wrapping that up. Captain Alert! Only 100 days left until Chris Jericho's Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea sets sail. Very, very cool. I have no idea what that is, but it's a pretty cool title. so we'll go with that. I think somewhere there was a sea book. Jason Bay was working on a pirate supplement for Castles and Crusades. It keeps getting punted to the end of the line, but I don't know why. Yeah, I do, because we've got so many other things that we want to do. And now, of course, with Gods and Monsters renamed to Gods and Legends is done, then we're looking down the eyeball of the Planescapes books. Very, very thing. Very, very, very soon. Let's see, a cruise. So it is very cool. Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. That's where's it setting sail from, Great Big? Say that 3 times. Yeah. I don't think anyone can say that. Where is it? Let's see if I can do it. There's just absolutely no. I can barely even say it once. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Wrestling Rager at Sea. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Wrestling Rager at Sea. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Wrestling Rager at Sea. Way too many syllables. Way too many syllables in that thing, title, whatever. Leaving from Miami. There you go. So, it's done. You should have your digital copy. And here's a note on my desk that says, send Gods and Legends to the printers. And I will probably begin that tomorrow. And get that thing printed. So I'm hoping within 3 to 4 weeks it's done. I've decided on a hardcover. I'm like 95% certain we're going to print it as a hardcover and get it out that direction. We can get it out faster as a soft cover, but it's a good book. I think Davis did a fantastic job. I'm pretty happy with it. So very, very soon. And then we can finally put that Kickstarter to bed. 7th printing or whatever it's one. I see. Yeah. Just summed up Demon by saying those. Yeah. What is that? Was Beetlejuice? That was a good movie, man. Headed to Grand Bahama Island with a ton of old, should-be retired wrestlers. Are you? I assume, Great Babe, that you are on that cruise. It's one of a cool-looking book. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Zoe did some fantastic art in there. I like Davis's write-ups. They're all kind of filled with stories, and it's just good stuff. I think that, and it offers, I don't know, just it gets us started. You know, we got orc deities in there, kobold deities in there, lizard man, all kinds of stuff. Hypothetical. How many Guinness would it take before Davis realizes his cigarettes are being borrowed at the Wild Beaver? How's it going, man? Hadn't talked to you in a while. Probably one now. That's a great picture of you, me, and Davis. I assume that's McBain there. That great picture of you, me, and Davis. We're all laughing and smoking and drinking at the Wild Beaver. It's a good bar. Very, very good bar. For those of you who don't know, I believe that Shaq Hudson here is McBain. And McBain used to run our conventions here for us. He put on some really great troll cons. Have you seen the new trailer for Gawain and the Green Knight? The narrator specifically mentions J.R.R. Tolkien as someone who constantly reiterated the importance and excellence of the legend. Yes, I have. It looks really, really good. I'm very excited about that one. It's right up my neck of the woods, right in my neck of the woods. In my wheelhouse. I think I'm merging a couple of expressions. I'm not sure there. Apparently, Parmesan flavor was one of the first ice cream flavors in ancient Rome. I did not know they had ice cream in ancient Rome. I'm not surprised. But it makes me like the Romans a little bit more because I'm a huge fan of ice cream. Absolutely love ice cream. Be careful you don't summon in the candy man. Yeah, none of that. Well, I hope you're doing well, McBain. We need to hook back up. Maybe go get some Purple Cow or something. Great, babe. No, I was planning on sending my son, who loves wrestling, as his college graduation present, but he opted for cash to move into an apartment instead. His responsibility brought a tear to my eye. That's cool. Stepping out on his own and doing it right. I mean, absolutely. But Chris Jericho still sends me emails. That's funny. You just made the list. There you go. Very good. Yes, we are running a raffle for those just joining us. It's $20 off or something. I really don't know what it is. It's some kind of giveaway Tim's concocted. Let me see. He told me at one point. I don't know. Tim will put it in the thing in the next few minutes. He'll be about 5 minutes behind us now in the stream, but he'll put it up. It's $20 off. It may be a coupon or something. I'm not sure. But we are here for Ask Me Anything. If you have any questions, fire them our way about Kickstarters we're working on, products we have, industry news, whatever it is. And I'll do my best to hack it. $20 coupon for the store. There you go. I'll do my best to hack it together. Hack together an answer, I should say. So the Player's Handbook is wrapping up, hopefully tomorrow and the next day. A little bit of art tweaking to do. And then we're going to jump right, that's the last next to the NPC Almanac. So the NPC Almanac will be right after that. And it's laid out. For those of you who have backed at Kickstarter, you should already have your digital copy. And we've got to place the art. I know what I'm going to do on that one to speed it on to its glorious end. What's the deal with the upcoming adventure spellbook for whatever it is called? Is that a print product, a new main book for the CNC product line? Yes, it's both. So it's part of the Kickstarter. It's part of the Player's Handbook, the Roads to Adventure Kickstarter that we're working on now. And the Adventurer's Spellbook will contain all of the spells from the Player's Handbook, the Adventurer's Backpack, Player's Guide to Aird, a few from Amazing Adventures, the Elemental Spellbook, Rune Lore. It'll have all of the new rune spells in it. I think there's 160 new rune spells. So the idea is to create a one-stop shop for all the spells in Castles and Crusades, so that the spellcasters don't have to have 5 books and keep thumbing through, this book or that book to find whatever. And it completes the rune spells, or at least those that I had intended to create. It completes the rune spells in such a way that it makes the rune mark a more playable class. It's got a tiny problem that I got to fix, because I went in and changed in the Player's Handbook, which you should see tomorrow. In the Player's Handbook, I put components as part of the stat block and removed the line at the bottom, but now I got to do that to the Adventurer's Spellbook, which is going to be 1,000 spells or some absolute insanity. But it's largely done, and it goes to print with the Player's Handbook and the Player's Archive. I'm pretty excited about it, actually, because I'm really tired of my players constantly fighting for space at the table, looking through spell books. They're like some kind of sage trying to find whatever spell that they've picked up on the road. So spells in a place like a late night TV ad, all the spells under one roof. We must be crazy. So that's funny. 𝚃𝚘𝚘𝚕𝚔. So years and years ago, back in the 80s, when Tim and I were in college, I had no money, and I lived in this, rat dink apartment, and Tim would come over, or for a while, Tim actually took me in, and I lived with him, but we would watch. You remember this, Tim? We would watch the infomercials on TV. We didn't have cable, couldn't afford any of that nonsense, so we would watch the infomercials. And there was 2 that I really liked. One was a guy that wore a sweater all the time in his damn sweater. He looked so pretty in his sweater. And then the other one, the guy, and he eventually, I think, went to prison, but he was selling tiny ads in newspapers, if you remember. Sweater Man would sell all kinds of stuff, but the other fellow would sell tiny ads for a fractional price. You can have an ad in a tiny ad in a newspaper, or whatever we'd say. But the camera always moved. So it's like he was on the deck of a yacht as it was as it was moving. It was really weird, but it fascinated the sleep deprived Tim and Steve as we were watching this movie. But wait, there's more. Yeah, exactly. That's what we need to do. I need to do an infomercial for Castles and Crusades and do a spoof of the old commercials. That's a great idea. I'm going to talk to Ellis about that and see if we can't put together an infomercial. I think that would be hilarious. And that PHP Kickstarter is one hell of an investment for backers. Yeah. It definitely will be. It'll be good for the company, of course. It was good for the company, but it's going to land, some fantastic resources. It's very strange that it's not strange. I mean, the game's been around for so long and there's so many people playing it, but that Player's Archive that we have now actually sells very well. It's always kind of interesting me. That's kind of why I wanted to do a hardcover version of it, so we can just get it in stock and sell it, and have everything under one roof. How much money would you pay? Now, how much would you pay? Yeah, exactly. Man, I love those things. Yeah, it was all kinds of stuff, Tim. We watched a bunch. I remember Sweater Man and the Rockin' Cameraman. I remember that guy. Tiny. Yes, Kadora, and the camera was always moving. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was, trying to bemuse, tweakers or I guess it wasn't meth in the 80s. What was it, cocaine? I don't know if he was trying to, I have no idea what he was doing. Oh my word, Steve, I'm back. Any excuse you ever had to leap off with that? I really like the idea. I had Ellis do. You can find it on YouTube. I had her. She's actually Mac Golden's daughter. She's a great film editor, filming all that stuff. She's in school. I don't know what she's studying, but anyway, she did an MTV commercial for us, which was just badass. And the old MTV thing with the astronaut on the moon and the flag goes up or down, or I can't remember. It's been too long. But so Ellis did a spoof on that one. That was very cool. So I think doing one of these infomercials would just be awesome. She'd get a couple of her buddies to do it and do a whole thing. You need to get the rights to make it wormy. Oh, that would be great. I don't even know where those rights are anymore, man. I hunted down Dave Trampier back in the early aughts. Found him. We scoured town after town in southern Illinois until we found him in Carbondale. I talked to him about 3 times, and he finally wrote me a letter and said, "Please leave me alone." So I, respecting his wishes, I never talked to him again. And he died, I guess, about 3 years after that. And but I don't know where his IP is gone. I don't know what's ever happened. Mac, if you're still listening, that's something we could research. I was thinking about my first dungeon back in the 70s. How important do you think a logical reason for a dungeon or even a mega dungeon to exist? They seldom seem to make sense. I actually can't run dungeons unless they make sense. It's got to have some kind of the creatures in there have to have an ecological reason to be there, and the dungeon itself has to have a reason to be there. And that's why you'll see very few of my dungeons actually have traps. Because if you build a dungeon to live in, why would you trap every room and hallway? I would kill myself constantly going to the bathroom at night, as I'd fall into a pit trap. So the dungeon absolutely has to have some kind of, for me, absolutely have to have some kind of logical cohesion behind it. I got that from my brother Davis. I really don't. I can't run dungeons that are just jammed there for no reason. Now I like the idea of the Indiana Jones thing, the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark. At the very beginning when he goes in, and the whole dungeon is trapped to protect the idol. That's cool. If that's the purpose of the dungeon, then the traps make sense. But if it's a dungeon that people are living in, it's got to make some kind of sense. And if they've abandoned it, then the ecology of it also has to make sense, so that I'm not just it's not just junk in the wilderness. I don't like any of that. It was probably just a handheld camera, cheap and always moving. Yeah, it could have been. Who knows? I don't know. I just remember it constantly moving. It was really funny. I'm Dilly Mays here to tell you about the adventure spellbook. Ever wanted to make that that word on your landlord service homework into a face-eating abomination? Now you can. Yeah. That's great. All right, we're doing an infomercial. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're doing an infomercial. We could do a Twitch infomercial where we actually do a live infomercial here on Twitch, because those things came out late at night, right? Really, when, and I'm guessing that networks began to learn that they stopped playing the national anthem and the flag waving, and I don't know, for those of you who are a little bit older, TV used to turn off at about 1 or midnight or so. They'd play the national anthem, you'd see the American flag, and then the channel would be shut off, and you would get this gray static until it turned back on the next morning at 5 in the morning or whatever time it was. I think the infomercials replaced that. Channel started going 24 hours a day, and the infomercials were jammed into that extra space because they were expensive. I remember they're expensive to run. Traveling around Dayton, Ohio back in the 80s, we saw some late night commercials for a local gun store. Pitch line was, "We don't want your money. We just love to sell guns," and make a finger gun gesture at the camera. That's like that. You can find it on YouTube. It's a guy selling used, not RVs, mobile homes, used mobile homes, and he just talks about, I don't give a crap if you buy this mobile home. We're just selling them. My ex-wife's boyfriend broke my nose. I'm not going to be hurt. You're not going to hurt my feelings, or something like that. It's just great. It's a great commercial. That would be a great room in a dungeon, though. Corpse of the previous owner that set up on their own traps. Wizard walking back from the laboratory falls in pit trap, and now he's an undead lich floating, really angry, floating around his dungeon. That'd be hilarious. Doing my monster talk, I found monsters that seem to be there just to fix dungeons without logic. Old Jig seems to be there just because the DM didn't add a sewer. Well, that I seem to vaguely remember. There's a species of ant that will kill cockroaches and take the larvae and down into this bottom part of their nest. And the larvae grow, they feed it, it grows, and it gets too big so that it can't leave. And there it eats whatever refuse the ants create. I don't know what kind of refuse ants can create. So that part didn't make any sense to me. But it did make that type of the Ojig or whatever that monster, however you pronounce that knucklehead, it made those monsters make sense. That at least magically maybe you wanted to breed some kind of creature that would eat the filth in your dungeon, because even wizards got to go to the bathroom. Stephen's Dungeons, late night module sales. There you go. CNC and QVC. Stephen's Dungeons have very effective health and safety committees. No traps, especially in the bathroom. Exactly. We don't need. It's okay to get caught in a trap. It's not okay to get caught in a trap when you have to go to the bathroom or when you've just gone to the bathroom. Some things should just be sacrosanct. They should just not be, yes, finish your business, then get on to killing them. That's just the way it should be. And then the channels. That scene in The Unforgiven where he kills the guy in the outhouse. That was just wrong, man. That was just wrong. Then the channel shut off, but turned right back on, showed me the flag, and said something like, "Welcome to the new day." That's about. It evolved into that for sure. I do remember the static. It was. I remember Davis and I would sit and watch that static for like 20 minutes, pretend it was a football game. See, blah blah blah. What are we at? That's why my kobold traps don't set off for characters as light as a kobold. That's brilliant, actually. That's brilliant. And kobolds are pretty smart, right? So they could do that. Book of Short Dungeons, Tomes, Carns, etc. So, we've started one of those like 3 bloody times. Davis has, it's actually called the Book of Dungeons, I think he's done like 9 of them. Did we put them out somehow? I think maybe it's 99-cent releases. And then he got onto the NPC Almanac and that killed that. I need to revisit that because I don't know about you, Omo. I know you run a lot of games, but when I run a dungeon, I want it to be about 4 to 12 rooms maximally. And that really, digging a dungeon and building a dungeon is not easy to begin with. So a 200-room dungeon, it gets boring. It gets a little bit old. Door after door after door after door, with mazes and all that crazy shit. But if you only got a dozen rooms, it makes sense. It runs faster. The whole thing just works a little bit better. So I love Davis's Book of Dungeons on that, and that we actually should revisit that. We're kind of trying to refocus on shorter adventures as opposed to these large megalithic things, because I'm fixing to have to jump into Alpstrag, and that's going to be megalithic enough. I'm dreaming in a drunken haze. I've been watching some videos recently of ancient Egyptian tombs, and man, those are practically mega dungeons. They were, but did they have? I can't remember. It's been so long since I looked at that. Did they have a lot of rooms, or was it like a few big tunnels that led to 1 or 2 major rooms? I mean, I honestly don't know. I haven't read or looked at that stuff in a gazillion years. But that type of concept works in my brain because it's a tomb, and you're trying to guard it, and you're trying to open up the doors to the afterlife and whatever. So you can put all kinds of stuff in there. A lot of the other dungeons just don't fit into my headspace. And the Amazing Dung Beetles reality is stranger than fiction. It is definitely that. Dung beetles are weird. They're backing up on those little piles of dung and rolling them around, laying their eggs in it. It's just weird. Notice I've only used stunted half-in characters in Surf's Dungeons. We said the TV static was ants fighting. Yeah, we're all about the same age, I see. That's funny. We all remember those days. I don't even know. I guess cable came out in the early 80s. Is that right? Is that when that killed all of that? I was in Europe. My dad was in the Army, so I was in Europe from 80 to 82? I don't know. I know when we left, there was only HBO and WGN under Chicago, and when we came back, there were 100 gajillion channels with all kinds of crap on it, and some kind of box that we had to adjust things on. Does anyone know who owns the wormy comic strips from Dragon Magazine? Does Mr. Trampier? He does, yes. He retained right to all of that, and I think his wife owns it now, but I don't know where all of that ended up after he passed away a couple of years ago. We should probably look into that. I haven't pursued that in a long time. I got a good friend up there, and he probably has a good idea. You are the exact opposite of the people that love mega dungeons. I don't, like Alpstrag. I'm actually running my Sunday night game. They've just gotten into Alpstrag, and Alpstrag is definitely a mega dungeon. 21 levels, 3,000 feet high, 1,500 feet across. It's absolutely monstrous, but it's beyond even a mega dungeon. It's really a city, and I'm trying to play it as a terrain piece as opposed to a dungeon. We'll see how long this lasts, because they just got onto level 1. They're looking for something specifically. Let's see, dozens of rooms and lots of tunnels. Interesting. I didn't know that they were that big. That's kind of cool. And that's all to bury the pharaoh or whoever. I know they found some collections of dozens of mummies in the same spot, so I'm sure it's more than just one knucklehead. And that does kind of belie what I was saying. I mean, clearly some people will go to great lengths to build a giant dungeon or temple or whatever that would be classified. I don't know that the Egyptians called them dungeons, probably not, but it became a dungeon, I suppose, in the RPG sense. But clearly they put mountains of work into it. There was an old Knights of the Dinner Table strip where the dungeon monsters were capturing adventurers to make them dig the next level of it. Yeah, that's still going to be hard to build. I mean, here in the Ozarks, I'm right on the edge of the Ozark Plateau. I'm actually south of it, but our family farm is up in the mountains. And digging a dungeon in that, if you didn't have dynamite or a dig spell or something, good. You'd be doing it forever and a day. Let's see. You should check out a comic strip by Travis Hansen called Life of the Party. He's on Facebook and has had 3 Kickstarters and follows an RPG party's adventures. A major villain runs a dungeon with staff meetings in an HR department. Funny stuff. That's cool. I'll check that out. That sounds vaguely familiar. Is it a strip online as well? I think Peter Bradley sends that to me once in a while. I see these videos daily on Facebook. I think Egypt is really pushing the tourist thing, or the tombs and whatnot lately. There you go. So there's always someone working an angle. They're not trying to educate you over. They're just working an angle. That's all right. Aren't we all? So, so that works. I absolutely, you may not know this, you and I have known each other for a long time, but I absolutely love all things Egypt. I think it's a fascinating society. I think they're the coolest looking of all of the species of humans, of all of the nationalities, ethnicities, whatever. I just think the Egyptians, the way they dressed, their weaponry, their chariots, the gods they worship was just fucking awesome. It's just awesome stuff. Everything after Egypt is just You should make a collected edition. And there you go. Let's see. M5, blah, 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 blah. Knights of the Table is amazing. I'll have to see if I can find some of my issues and give them a read again. I heard that Chenault, the name Chenault popped up in Knights of the Dinner Table. Joe Goodman sent that over to me. Let's see if I can find that. I love Knights of the Dinner Table. Jolly's a great guy. There you go. Send a message. Maybe I should read that as a stream. Knights of the Table was great. Yep, absolutely. Very cool stuff. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Love Knights of the Dinner Table. For those of you who don't know, it's a comic book put out by 𝚃𝚘�𝚘𝚕𝚔 Company. Go check them out online. They've got to have over 200 issues, don't they? I mean, it's got to be over 200 issues. My KODT books are probably with my Far Side Gallery books piled somewhere. I have a book that collected all of Larry Elmo's Snarf Quest from Old School Dragon magazine. So good. We almost did an Snarf Quest RPG that was in deep talks when one of the fellows involved did some crazy shenanigans and ended up just running amok. So that thing fell through. Why would I never pursue that after that? That's funny. Have you seen DM of the Rings? I have not seen DM of the Rings. It sounds like a comedy, so I'm going to have to watch it now. Anything that pokes fun at anything, I'm usually there to watch it. Oh, damn it. Omut, I still haven't watched that movie. Shit. And I was going to do that last week. I will do that tonight. Prince of Darkness. Son of a... Alright, I'm watching it tonight. See, I put my note in the desk and it disappeared. Damn it. Alright, and there was another one I was going to watch called The Tire or something. I can't remember. The back of the collection had the second edition character sheets of the Snarf Quest characters. Oh, that's kind of cool. Bundle Holding did a massive KODT bundle. Yeah, Rubber. Yeah, that's the one. That was the other one that I was going to watch. If I don't know if Bundle Holding is still doing it, but if you can get those KODTs, they're fantastic. It's got to be over 200 issues of it. All right, now I got to tell you, I'm watching Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm not super happy with it. The actors are great, setting's great, all of it's cool, except I don't know. Dr. Pepper and the Prince of Darkness, yes, coming online tonight, probably about 10 o'clock once everybody's gone to bed or gone to video land or whatever everyone does. I'll even make some special popcorn if I get my popcorn to come back alive. Popcorn maker. Ghidorah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that Rubber. Ghidorah says Rubber is a very, truly bizarre movie. I don't doubt that at all. But I love weird stuff. I absolutely love weird stuff. The weirder the better. Anything that kind of makes me, I don't know, just cool stuff. Fear the Walking Dead only gets better when Morgan joins the show. Yeah, I'm caught up. I've got 3 more episodes to be finished with season 5. And it's good, don't get me wrong, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But the stories seem a little rushed, maybe. I feel like every TV show I'm watching, that it's just rushed. And I don't know if it's just me or if something's going on out on the West Coast. Maybe the COVID stuff is still impacting everything they do. I have no idea. I don't know. It just feels rushed. Maybe I'm rushed all the time. But Morgan was a nice asset to the show. I can't remember her name now, the blonde. I really liked her character. The lead up until whatever. It's one of the few movies that kind of creeps me out. Is that Rubber or Prince of Darkness? No, Prince of Darkness, okay. Every episode, they do something completely stupid. Well, the Walking Dead runs into this thing where, because the walkers don't move fast, they actually could counteract them pretty decently, and they do it occasionally, but they never repeat that stuff. And I know why they never do, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I have a huge suspension of disbelief. But what I don't like is when things are forced and frequently. Of course, we're talking 16 seasons between the 2 shows, and then the new one, something of the Walking Dead World Beyond, I think. 17, 18 shows, whatever the hell it is. Some of your shows are just going to be, crushed together. I watched The Conjuring 3 recently, and all I could think of was how to convert that movie into a D&D adventure. It's not that far of a stretch. Conjuring 3 and The Nun, Conjuring spinoff. So my niece is the one, my 2 nieces, Davis's youngsters, got me to watch The Witch, which catapulted to one of my favorite movies. And they were actually talking about The Conjuring. They both told me to watch it, said it's very, very good. I may have to look into that. Have you thought of an anthology of the Crusader Journal magazine some more? That seemed like a good idea that was suggested last week. I love that idea. It's on the docket. We've already done it, actually. I could literally send that to print tomorrow. Obviously, we're doing the Robert E. Howard Kickstarter. That's going to launch on July 27th. If you haven't signed up for that, please do so. But that I would love getting those Crusaders back out there. I hate the fact that they aren't out there. I think they're in digital format, but you know how that is. But yeah, that's definitely on the docket. I absolutely love that concept. I don't like property of ours that is that good to just be sitting in a digital dustbin somewhere. I just really don't. And Tainted Lands falls into that. Tainted Lands was a good game. It's a good RPG, and it needs to come rolling back in. And we are working on that as well. Rubber's a movie about a homicidal pyrokinetic car tire. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You owe it to yourself, everyone does, to read DM of the Rings. Epic. Alright, I'm doing it. Wait. Are you talking the book? The National Lampoon? No. I'm thinking of Board of the Rings. If you've never read Board of the Rings, go get it and read Board of the Rings. It is so freaking funny. National Lampoon book back in the 80s or 70s or some craziness. If you love weird stuff, you would like the 1997 Canadian film Cube. It's sort of a sci-fi, surreal dungeon crawl, very strange, very interesting. All right, I'm gonna add that one to the list. That sounds like my cup of tea. I love anything weird. I can't get anyone to watch it with me, but my daughter enjoys the texts I send her when I'm watching stupid movies because they're always funny texts. I see. Besides, we established long ago that you and I have identical taste in film TV. Yeah, that's just about right. The Witch is one of my faves. Such a good film. The old one. It really was. If you haven't watched The Witch, guys, watch it. Fantastic movie. Just moody, the ambiance, just everything about it. And it doesn't get whatever until the very... It's just a good movie. Just watch it. Looking forward to the 5th and final season of Van Helsing. Van Helsing? Well, I have not seen any of that. What are you talking about, Van Helsing? How do you know that is? Board of the Rings is amazing. Board of the Rings is awesome. I've never laughed so hard as when I watched. When I read Board of the Rings. Good God, I thought I was going to bust something. Arrow shirt, the Lone Ranger. The scene where the Lone Ranger trips over his sword in the tavern is so funny. So funny. No, Board of the Rings, okay, not the same. DM of the Rings is a comic done with frame grabs from the movies as far as big deal. Alright, I'll check that out. And DM of the Rings is also hilarious and basically dead on accurate to nearly every table I've ever... Okay, I'll have to definitely check that All right, on that note, it is 5 o'clock. We are going to wind down. I don't know if we're raiding. I think we're supposed to raid. I was given instructions. Hold on. We're going to do a raid on Blue Box. Van Helsing, a series on Netflix. The first season seems a standard zombie movie, but halfway. Why haven't I seen that? Shit. Well, Van Helsing. All right. Why haven't I? That can't be right. I've got to have seen that. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Is that they're doing they're hunting vampires? Yeah, I think I saw that. I think I saw. I think I'm on season 3. I think the lead's a female. Is that correct? I don't want to give any spoilers away, but she's kind of a crossover. I think I've seen that. And there's also Black Rain. Their season 2 is out, so definitely check. Definitely check. Why is that? I can't remember, man. I can't remember anything. It's just fun. I just finished up. Yeah, she's a descendant of Van Helsing. Yes, that's one. I did see that. I've seen that up through like halfway through season 3. There's like a soldier character in that I really like. Yes, okay. I can't remember all this stuff. It all runs together after a while. I watch so much good stuff and then crap that in my head it's just a mess. I didn't even realize I have Board of the Rangers found it. Yep, there you go. Graded Man is fantastic. Fantastic. Another strip you may love is some guy took stills from the Arnold Conan films and put new dialogue and capture balloons over them. He makes it into a story of a DM in the PCs, and it's super funny. It's called The Bloody Nipple Sack. Oh my good God. All right. Yeah, let's not do a module. What's going on in my head? It's all... Eat to Surf said maybe you need to do a module. What's going on in your head? Nah, it's just a jumble of half-thought-out ideas that wouldn't make any sense. So I need some kind of hammer to bring it all together. Did you watch Supernatural, Steve? They are making a spin-off voiced by Dean about his parents called the Winchesters. I did not see Supernatural. Is that the two brothers hunting things? No, Tim is spot on. No, we do not. I think that's the two brothers. I actually watched a little bit of it with my daughter. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. All right. Okay, with all of that, I got plenty to watch tonight. I'm definitely going to watch this damn Prince of Darkness because I completely forgot about it. My tiny little brain. All right. Yeah, that's it. We're going to do a quick raid here. I'm going to type this mess in if I can remember it. Where's Chuck's instructions? I thank you, everybody, for showing up. I love this Tuesday afternoon jibber jabber session. It's really great. And now I can't find Chuck's instructions. They were right here. There it is. All right. We're going to raid Blue Box. All right. Everybody have a great rest of your week and a great evening. And all of that fancy stuff. Let's see. Something's supposed to happen. Nothing happened. Tim, we're going to be not doing a raid in about a minute and a half. Am I supposed to type that in? Something. I thought I did I not put it in there? There's the slash. Oh, it didn't like me. There we go. It did not like me copying and pasting, I see. I have to think that something should be happening. Yeah, somewhere, something. All right, 1 second. Here we go. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. We will see you later.